Vegetarians, man, they might be eating more meat than you think. Welcome back, guys. Jokes aside, I finally got to see the movie that I've been highly anticipating for a while, and that movie is Raw. There was a lot of hype about this movie being like the best horror movie of the year. I've read that at festivals, people were getting like barf bags because it was so gross, and people were throwing up and leaving the theater early because they couldn't handle the goriness. So of course I was like, hell yeah, let me watch this movie because I need to know what all this hype is about. And basically this French movie is about Justine, who comes from a all vegetarian, all vet family, and they have this crazy background where they're like strictly vegetarians, but she enlists into this veterinary school in France, I don't know where, and as soon as she gets there, she becomes part of like this hazing ritual that like the school does. And it's pretty crazy because the first night they throw away like her mattresses out the windows and shit, so that was kind of fucked up. But then also they make her eat like raw meat, and then they make her go to like these crazy like sexy parties, and then basically the whole school is just kind of like filled with crazy people. And after she eats that raw meat, I think it was like rabbit kidneys or something like that, something triggers her to where she wants more meat. So what I really liked about this movie was that the movie itself visually was full of goriness, and it was really good. Like I said, the visuals, the cinematography, the overall bloodiness, and like the flesh that we get shown is pretty cool. The performances themselves were really good in this movie. Like overall, the whole cast did amazing. The girl that was playing Justine herself, Garance Marillier, freaking butchered that, I know, was amazing. Like, you know, you can see it through her eyes and her performance, you know, what the struggles of this newly born cannibal was. And I really like that part about the movie. Now, in the beginning of the movie, in the intro itself, it kind of set it up in my mind, honestly, that this was going to be like more of a psychological horror movie. But as the movie progresses, it was more about the evolution of Justine herself going from a vegetarian to like a full-on cannibal. And that's what I really like, because she can really show that she's never eaten meat before. She's very secluded because of the way her parents raised her. So she really explores her body and like sexuality along with her bloodthirst. But aside from all that stuff, I would say this movie was a good watch. All that hype about the horror and stuff like that, I didn't really feel any horror, or I didn't feel scared whatsoever during any time in the movie. Did I feel disgusted? Maybe, but at the same time I was having my lunch while watching this, so I didn't feel sick or wanting to throw up. I did feel bad for some of the animals there because they just looked really sad as they were doing tests on them, and some animals were being cut up in like disgusting ways. So I was just like, oh man, why they gotta do that to the poor animal? The movie itself just progressively gets bloodier and bloodier, which is not a bad thing. Also, there's a big reveal towards the end, which kind of was like the grossest part for me. And then halfway through the movie, you can kind of connect the dots on this big reveal, which isn't a bad thing because the way that they executed at the end was pretty cool. I wouldn't necessarily say that the hype of this movie ruined it for me, because I actually liked a lot of the aspects that the movie was showing, and a lot of the stuff that we see in this movie kind of have been done before. The use of like a lot of sex and gore was pretty good. There was a good combination in the movie. There's also like some scenes that reminded me of The Rings, where the girl's like throwing up and she's like pulling hair out of her mouth. That was just weird. And then the movie is just artistically bloody. There were times where I would chuckle and laugh at the movie because of how ridiculous the things were getting, and I was just like, oh my god. Like, my whole thing with the movie was that I was like, okay, when is she gonna kill or eat Adrian, her roommate, who looks kind of like Drake? And that's what the movie basically was. Like, you know, how far are they willing to take Justine's like cannibalism? Like, what's gonna happen next? And that's the main thing that kept me interested in the movie. There was never like a whole lot of suspense or like tension building up where I was like biting my nails, like freaking out, like, oh my god, what's gonna happen next? I never felt that way. Every time I was watching Justine, I was just like, okay, what the hell is she gonna do next? And that was just mainly it. I think most likely I would probably watch this movie again with someone that hasn't seen it before, and I know for a fact that they're going to be grossed out, because let's face it, there are some people that will get grossed out at the stuff that they're seeing. So that's the only time I'll probably watch it again. In the end, guys, this movie by no means is a terrible movie at all. The movie looks great. The visuals and everything, the bloody, like the flesh eating stuff that goes on, is amazing. The performances themselves were great, but in the end, the movie didn't impress me as much as I was hoping for. There wasn't really a whole bunch of horror, more goriness than anything. A lot of the shots, or scary shots I would say, was just the camera lingering like on a dead corpse, just like zooming in or like showing us like the flesh and how bloody it is. The storyline itself, I felt like it was pretty basic because it was easy to follow, and I feel like it's been done before. But overall, like I said, it was a good watch, and I'm gonna give Raw a 3.2 out of 5. See, it wasn't that bad. Like, at one point I thought this movie was gonna disappoint me, but like after giving it some thought and like sleeping on it, I was like, okay, I did actually like the movie. So guys, if you guys watched this movie, what you think? Did you like it? Did you hate it? Did you just think it was okay? Also, what's a movie that people overhyped that when you finally watched it, you were like, really, that's what you were super excited about? Leave those down in the comments. If there's one movie that grossed me out when I was younger, it was probably The Human Centipede, or the fact that I googled 2 Girls 1 Cup. Don't do that, by the way. I don't want you guys to be scarred or like freaked out. That's pretty disgusting. Sorry. But guys, that was my review of Raw. I hope you guys liked it. If you guys are new to my channel, please subscribe and hit the little bell down below. Also, if you guys find this review interesting for your friends to watch or something like that, please give it a thumbs up and share it. But as always, guys, stay tuned.